Welcome all sports fans, everyone across the nation. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. We're doing our Week 8 recap of the NFL season. Let's get it. You know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Let's roll. Welcome all sports fans, everyone across the nation. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. That boy Joseph Rodriguez is in the building, man. Joseph, what's good, bro? What is good? Thank y'all for the love and support, man. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton. This is the lovely Miss PJ. We are in the building. Miss Phyllis Jr. We're going to recap our Week 8. And boy, was it a horrible prediction week for us. After going 11-2. 11-2 in Week 7. We are dismal in this Week 8. Our picks and predictions were horrible, but before we get into that, y'all, don't forget, if you are new to this channel, if you're watching this on rebroadcast or watching this live, first of all, thank you guys. 2, go ahead and make sure you go ahead and like this channel. Hit that like button, that thumbs up, it helps us out big time. And also subscribe to Uneducated Sports Talk. When you subscribe to the channel, hey, hit that notification bell. When you do that, hit that all button. You'll be notified every single time when we go live, man. Every single time. So thank y'all for the love and the support, man. It's been fun so far. And we're going to go ahead and recap our Week 8 of the NFL season. It was that, or if the Astros won in Game 6, we'd have done Astros in Game 7 versus the Braves. But shout out to the Braves for being our World Series champions for 2021. It was a great game. We had a great stream last night as well. So those that are involved with the Braves versus Astros stream, thank y'all, man. It was so cool. We had a fun time. We had a blast, man. Had a bunch of guys coming there, a bunch of new subscribers as well. So let's take this off because we don't need that one anymore. So we got to our 300 subscribers, y'all. We did our short-term goal, our first one. 300 subscribers, we got there. So someone's going to win $300. I'll have the winner by next Monday. And also, our new short-term goal, when we get to 500 subscribers, that's 200 more. We get to 500 subscribers, someone's going to win $100, y'all. So let's roll with it, man. Thank y'all for the love and the support. As always, it's been great. Week 8, what a crazy, crazy, crazy week. When we talk about upsets, we want to talk about big upsets. We want to talk about head scratchers. We want to talk about teams that we just feel like, man, they could be so much better. What is going on? We have all that and more. So go ahead and like this, subscribe to this, share with your family and friends. We're about to dive into our Week 8 reactions, our Week 8 recap of the NFL season. Let's start off with the Thursday night football game, which is on paper the game of the week. We had the 7-0 Arizona Cardinals, the last unbeaten team in the NFL, facing off against the Green Bay Packers, who were at the time 6-1. Packers win this one 24-21, and somewhat of an upset. We had no Devontae Adams. He was out with COVID. We had no Adams at all. So you're like, oh, man, well, very tough news. But then also we had a banged-up DeAndre Hopkins playing for the Cardinals, and he only played about a total of maybe 14 snaps altogether. So it kind of evened out. But in this game, we had picked the Packers with the upset. Thank goodness we did, or our record would be even that much worse. We picked the Packers to beat the Cardinals. Even without Adams, I felt like they would change their scheme, and they did. They ran the ball right down the Cardinals' throat with A.J. Dillon. They used Aaron Jones more in the passing as a receiver, so he got a lot of touches in that sense. So that was great, smart thinking by the Packers, changing their style of play up. Arizona on offense could not get anything going in that first half, and they kind of got going towards the end, even with a chance to win the game. But before that, the Packers took it all the way down to 4th and goal, and they did not pick it up from the 1 yard line. And I was very, very animated about that because I was like, you had A.J. Dillon, this big bruising running back, running down your throats all game. And they chose Aaron Jones on that goal line. We're talking about first and goal from the 1. And all 4 plays, Aaron Jones is in that game. It should have been Dillon straight up the gut. Call it a day. Get a touchdown to ice the game. Well, they did not pick it up. The Cardinals drove all the way down to the red zone, had a chance to win the game, and then or tie the game. If you're thinking to yourself, man, worst case scenario, we're gonna just tie the game up. Worst case scenario, tie the 24, go to overtime. That did not happen because Kyler Murray, who's being pressured all game, was pressured on this particular down. It was third down. He throws it up for grabs to A.J. Green in the corner of the end zone on the right side. A.J. Green is not even looking for the football. Matter of fact, he is blocking. So I don't know if he thought it was a run play or just the pass wasn't going to him at all. But nonetheless, it did go as a hot read by Murray, and it was intercepted by the Packers. They win that game 24-21. Now, they are in first place of the NFC. Cardinals are tied now. So it depends on scheduling. There's 3 teams that are like 6-1 or 7-1. I mean, so great up front by the NFC. Have some really top-heavy teams, man. So the Packers win that one and advance. But we'll talk about Green Bay in just a moment about their issues now for their Sunday game against the Chiefs. Next game on the docket, we have the Carolina Panthers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. And this one, we had chose the Falcons to win this one. I felt like the Falcons were kind of finding their stretch, their good stretch. And I also thought, well, man, the Panthers are going down. And in Atlanta Falcons fashion, they lose this ball game. After being in control most of this game until the last quarter and a half where the Panthers sort of took over. My thing was, where was Kyle Pitts at? Kyle Pitts, he was utilized so much. But mind you, there's no Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley right now is out with mental issues. We won't get into that. We just hope that he does well. We pray that he comes back mentally sound and prepared. But what happened was Kyle Ridley was out. So the main focus was Kyle Pitts. So hello, Kyle Pitts being the number 1 option for Atlanta. And it did not work. As a matter of fact, he had 13 yards total. Dropped a big pass as well when he had one for maybe a touchdown. But the Panthers, I mean, I don't know how they won this game. Because, I mean, their first play from scrimmage was a fumble by Chuba Hubbard. And they still won this game 19-13. 2 teams that are kind of stuck in the mud right now. 2 teams that aren't really going anywhere. Panthers are at 500 at 4-4. After starting off 3-0, they lost 4. I mean, they had lost 3 in a row after winning 3 in a row. So now they are 4-4 or something like that. So y'all know what I'm talking about. But Panthers are trying to find a way to stay alive. But thank goodness that NFC at the bottom is pretty, it's top heavy. So the bottom NFC is wide open right now. If the playoffs did start, Carolina would be in it at 4-4. Falcons dropped to, I believe, 3-5. And right now, that was a tough loss. They could have used that win to propel them to 500. And now you're talking about them winning 3 in a row, looking good, or looking like a decent team. They lose 19-13, and now Matt Ryan's weapons are just dwindling. If Kyle Pitts is going to be the number 1 option for the Falcons, they're going to be in trouble because they're just going to double team Kyle Pitts and say, can the rest of you guys beat us one-on-one? And we don't know. Panthers going to win 19-13. Our next game on the docket, the Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. And we had picked the Colts to win this game. I felt like Indianapolis was going to come in here and cause havoc. They're going to stop the run game. I felt like they're going to stop Henry. And for the most part, they did stop Henry in this game. Henry only went 69 total yards from scrimmage. And the Colts did a good job of doing that. But for some reason, this Titans team, they are, I don't know, they're real gutsy. Like, never say never, never die type of attitude. Since that first week of against Arizona, they have finally found their niche. But now we have the injury news of Derrick Henry being out for the season. Mind you guys, I keep saying this, the Titans at this point were my Super Bowl favorites to win it all. Not even playing. We had them winning the Super Bowl against the Bucs. No Derrick Henry, tons of problems. This team is going nowhere. They did pick up Adrian Peterson. We'll break all that down on Friday for our Week 9 picks and predictions. We'll break all that down. But the Titans in this game, AJ Brown, 50 yards receiving. He just went dumb. 155, I believe. He went crazy. So they had that with no Julio Jones. They needed a big game by AJ Brown, and he delivered. The Colts should have won this game, but for some reason, Carson Wentz turned back into Carson Wentz, man. And he just had a bad play on their own 1 yard line. He tried to throw a screen, and instead of just throwing it down on the ground, he winds up like taking it with his left hand because the pressure was coming in, and he just tosses it up, hoping and praying that someone can swat it down. But I think regardless, it was going to be an intentional grounding, which has been a safety. So that leads Titans to a touchdown because he threw in the air, and a defender, for the Titans got it and got into the end zone. That tied the game up. I mean, that gave the Titans the lead, Well, thank goodness Carson Wentz made up for that, drove all the way down, tied the game up with a touchdown. But then, Jonathan Taylor, who also had a big game as well. Jonathan Taylor's been having a phenomenal month of football. They get into overtime. Both teams can't get it well. Carson Wentz wound up throwing an interception in overtime. Titans get it down to reasonable kicking game to a Bullock right down the middle. Titans win 34-31 in overtime. And if the Colts had any type of chance before Henry went out, they had to win this game. They did not win this game. And you can tell right now, Titans are the number one team in the AFC as we speak right now. They are the number one team in the AFC at 6-2. Well, they are 6-2, but there's no Derrick Henry, so we'll break all that down. That might be spelling trouble for them. Or maybe not. We'll find out. Next game, we have the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, and the Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa situation has been going crazier and crazier every single day. And he's proven the haters right more and more now as Tua plays. Now, mind you, the Buffalo Bills are a tough team, and they might be the best team in the AFC. They might just be the best team in the AFC. The Bills are that good. 26-11 was the final score. It started off sloppy by both teams. Josh Allen just did not have his type of game with his receiving core all that first half. Somewhere late in that third quarter, in the whole fourth quarter, the Bills got it back going. They want to win this game 26-11 pretty easily. But it was kind of scary in the beginning because the Bills just couldn't score. But then when they start putting points up, the offense can't mess with that defense. And Tua Tagovailoa, he's got some decent weapons, but it's all about him. Can his arm strength, can his accuracy, can he get them together? And it just did not happen for him. Next game we have the Pittsburgh Steelers 15, the Browns 10. That was a shocker. By the way, we had chose the Bills to beat the Dolphins, and then we chose the Browns to beat the Steelers. More news coming out. Odell Beckham is no longer going to be with the team for the foreseeable future. But we'll break all that down on Friday. We got a lot of juicy news. Over a 3-day period, a bunch of freaking juicy news came out. So we'll have all that on Friday. So get ready for our Week 9 picks and predictions. And, of course, we're going to predict what's going on with these teams, man. But for this game alone, look, I am not blaming Baker Mayfield at all. You see his stat line, you say, well, man, Baker had a bad game, bro. Do you know how many drops this team had? Jarvis Landry all of a sudden cannot catch a cold. And when he does catch it, he lets a runny nose come down his nostril, as in fumbles. This dude has fumbled like 4 times in like 2 games now. I think he's like 6 fumble all year. I might be over-exaggerating, but it feels like that. Jarvis Landry just can't catch anymore. I don't know what's going on. Odell Beckham Jr. can't catch and doesn't want to catch. Odell can't go up the middle. Odell is scared to go through the middle. He's just scared. He's not going to the middle now. So, that is just like, wow. The Browns are making it so much tougher for Baker Mayfield. Go watch that game. Browns should have won this game easily. Guys are just dropping balls, fumbles. When Baker does have time, he's put on a diamond guy. But when Baker doesn't have time, it's obviously the O-line. That pressure from the Steelers is great. Both teams go to 4-4. Pittsburgh offense, it just sucks, but their defense kept them in this whole entire game. Big Ben made plays when he had to at the most needed times. And Najee Harris looking like a really good pickup, man. If it wasn't for Jamar Chase, Najee Harris would be in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. So 15-10 is our final score. Both teams go to 4-4. Pittsburgh with the win. Let's go right here all the way to the right, y'all. I put them in late. The Denver Broncos taking on the Washington football team in Mile High Stadium. Broncos win at 17-10. This game was sort of we picked the Washington football team to win this. I'm done picking the Washington football team. I had so much faith in this squad, but I thought Taylor Heineke might have been the man. And he is not. He's made some very poor decisions for this football team, and he's made some very bad throws as well at critical times. Mind you, Denver has a really good defense when they face up against bad offenses or streaky offenses. Washington football team is a streaky offense, but I thought they would have had a lot more juice. That defense of the Broncos kept in the game. Teddy Bridgewater, great manager of the football. I think the Broncos are now 4-4 as well. Washington football team goes to, I believe, 2-5. I'm not sure, maybe 2-6. But nonetheless, in that NFC East where Dallas right now is pretty much king. Dallas is king. And I didn't put Dallas. Well, I didn't put Dallas and Minnesota up there, but I'll talk about them in Sunday Night Football in just a moment, y'all. So Broncos win that game. Nothing really too flashy about this game. 17-10 was the score, man. So anyway, hey, we got another one wrong, and I apologize to my fans, and I apologize to myself, man. To myself. First of all, the Eagles went into Detroit and beat the living crap out of the Detroit Lions. Beat the living shiznits out of Detroit Lions. Right now, the Lions and the Pistons have a combined one win together as a city. The Detroit Lions and the Detroit Pistons are just horribly garbage right now. And we picked the Lions to win. I said if there's any time for the Lions to win, it's going to be against a pedestrian offense of the Philadelphia Eagles. Boy, was I wrong by a long shot. They get their asses handed to them 44-6. Eagles go to 3-5. Lions still haven't won a damn thing yet. Jared Goff and that team look horrendous, man. And yes, the number one pick is coming towards them. It is coming towards them. They look horrendous. They lose 44-6 in a blowout. Darius Slay got his revenge on his former team. What went right, and what went wrong went horribly wrong. And the Lions, there's no weapons. I mean, outside of the running game. And you think with DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, boy, they have a nice nucleus of running backs. And if they decide to, keep it stupid simple, I admire the first 4 games for the Lions. The first 4 or 5 games, they were like in every game and they were competing hard. This game right here kind of broke their spirits and broke my spirits of even trying to root for these guys to get a win. Now I'm like, you know what? 0-17 sounds pretty damn good to me. I don't see them winning another game this year. I look at their schedule and like, who? I don't see who's going to be the reason why they win a game. I don't know. So they lose 44-6. I mean, I admired their competitiveness the first 5 games of the season, and now they have just been god awful since then. When you play against a pedestrian offense like Hurts and that the gang has had, now they did bring in Boston Scott, who looked good. They brought in Howard as well, Jordan Howard, who was a former Eagle. Now he's back. He looked good, scoring 2 touchdowns. So, Knox VR, what's up? He said, I snagged Burrow. Yes, sir. Snagged him up, man. I don't blame you anymore. I do not blame you anymore, bro. Pat Mahomes has looked very pedestrian. We'll talk about him in just a moment. But the Eagles, 44-6, man. 44. He said Hurts is hurt. Okay, that's more breaking news. 44-6 is our final score with this, man. I mean, it was just horrendous, y'all. It was just a bloodbath. The Lions just suck. Detroit Pistons suck. All of Detroit sports sucks right now. It just sucks. I mean, I feel bad. If you're in Detroit, it's already I heard it's already like a muggy type of city. It's kind of like, nothing happens out here. And now to get the ass kicked in professional sports from all your sports teams, that doesn't do your city any favors. Next game on the docket, the Rams beat the Texans by a score of 38-22. Mind you guys, this game was like 38-0 or 38-6. So don't let the score fool you. The Texans scored against like 4th stringers against the Rams. So I mean, 38-22 is not like it wasn't no tight competitive game in the Rams. No, the Rams are up big, like 38-6. Called all the dogs off. Texas scored against some like 4th stringers. So that being said, Rams looking like one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team. They had a loss to the Cardinals, but now since then they have just dominated against poor teams. Rams win 38-22 thanks to Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp. That dynamic duo is just nasty right now. I mean, they're nasty on fantasy, they're nasty in reality, and of course, they just added Von Miller to that vaunted defense. We'll break all that down, like I said, on Friday for our Week 9 picks and predictions, man. Limnock says, yeah, Mahomes is disgusting. I'd rather lose with Burrows. I feel you, bro. And watch how fantasy works. The second you put Mahomes on the bench, he's going to just go dumb for 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, a couple bombs. That's just how fantasy works, man. But the Rams beat the Texans 30-22. Also, Desean Jackson. Like we had the trade deadline came and went today, but we had so much drama surrounding that trade deadline over the last couple of days and today. Desean Jackson, he was released. Excuse me, he was released by the Rams, not cut, released by the Rams because he knew that his time was not going well, and he wasn't being used right. So he left. He's now going to search for a team. Who he goes to, I have no idea. The Texans, after trading Mark Ingram, they were just called the dogs out too. They say, you know what, we're done this year. We're going maybe 2-15, 3-14 at the best for the Texans. They lose 30-22, and Rams go to, I believe, 7-1, 7-1, and I think the Texans what are they 1-7. Don't have any scores. But obviously, we picked the Rams to win that game. That was obvious. Next game that we actually got right as well, we picked the 49ers to beat the Bears, and they did that. 49ers win 33-22. But this might be the best overall game by Justin Fields. Over 100 yards rushing by the young quarterback. And at one point, they were really in this game and had a chance to win. But the 49ers with Elijah Mitchell dominated on the run game, over 130 yards rushing and a touchdown for Elijah Mitchell. 49ers, Jimmy G did just enough. Debo Samuels had a nice game as well. I mean, they get George Kittle back as well. So maybe some good news coming for the 49ers and their fortunes. Trey Lance might be healthy and be ready as a backup quarterback just in case something happens with Jimmy Garoppolo. But the 49ers win 33-22. The Chicago Bears are just pedestrian on offense. I've been saying that. I've been saying fire Matt Nagy, and I'm going to keep harping on it until he gets fired. He needs to go, and Justin Fields needs to go and learn under somebody else. I don't care that it's going to be another year for this young quarterback, but he's got to get it right and get it right now. And Matt Nagy's not that guy. The 49ers, on the other hand, had a great game rushing, and they did just enough on defense to slow down. Justin Fields and Khalil Herbert, those two guys, Khalil Herbert has definitely done a good job for the Bears since Montgomery's time has been done because of injury. Herbert has come in there and taken advantage of his opportunities and has looked good doing that. So those two alone could not do it, Herbert and Fields. Just pedestrian on offense. They really are. 49ers took advantage of that, and they got the W. So the 49ers go to, I believe, was that 4-4? And the Bears are 3-5, something like that. Limnox VR said they need to trade Robinson. I do agree. If I was Robinson, I would have begged for a trade during the deadline. They did not do that. Obviously, he did not beg for a trade. I think Robinson is a really, really, really good receiver, but he's had years with really, really, really bad quarterbacks. Patriots versus the Chargers. I knew this was going to be a good one on paper. I can tell. Like the Chargers, when they face teams with really good defenses, they kind of struggle. But still, we said the Chargers would have enough offense to beat the Patriots. But boy, was I wrong. Patriots defense, very stingy. And I figured, man, playing on the road, the Patriots defense would have a harder time. And 27-24 is the score. Patriots win this game, and that was a much-needed win. Because so far, the Patriots already beat the Jets twice and the Texans. And those two teams are combined like 3 wins for the year. So you knew that, you wanted to go ahead and get a signature win. And this was a really big win in my opinion. Mac Jones is only getting better and better as a quarterback. He looks so comfortable in his offense already as a rookie. He just looks comfortable. He doesn't make too many bad plays. He still makes his fair share. He's still a rookie, but you can tell he's getting more comfortable in his offense, and it's not necessarily a juggernaut of offense. No, and of course Damian Harris is coming on as number one back for the Patriots now, looking good. So 27-24. Limnox Viewer says, you know where I would put Robinson? I feel like he would do good with Carr and the Raiders. Ooh, yeah, I would take him on my Saints squad too. But the Bears aren't that crazy. They're not trading Robinson. If they trade Robinson, they have no offense at all. And man, so we saw the Chargers get their ass kicked by the Ravens. Ravens put it on them a couple weeks ago. They get a bye week. Off that bye, lose to the Patriots. Now things aren't looking so good in sunny Los Angeles because I had high hopes. We saw the first 5 games of this year, and they were a juggernaut on offense. And now it's like it's kind of hard for them to get going. Herbert is now kind of come down to earth. Maybe we, including myself, put a little bit too much pressure on Justin Herbert to be this godsend of a quarterback because he looked so well last year, and including the first 5 games of this year, was looking like an MVP candidate. Patriots winners won 27-24 because of their stingy defense at the end. So that was a big win by the Patriots because now they are in the thick of things. Mind you, the AFC is just dumb. 6-2 teams, I believe, or the Bills 5-2. I think Bills are 5-2, and Titans are 6-2, and everybody else is 3 losses or more. So Patriots are right there in the thick of it. And in that AFC East, I mean, they're not going to catch Buffalo, I assume, but definitely there's 7 spots in each conference. Patriots are in a fighting spirit to get one of those spots for the AFC, but it is a very crowded spot right now. All right. So a game we finally got right again. The Jacksonville Jaguars at the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks put it on the Jaguars by a score of 31-7. Geno Smith looked good in this game against a team that he needed to look good against. He needed this. He needed to be that person, that quarterback for them. It's almost like Russell Wilson was there because he got both DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett involved in the same game. Lockett with 12 catches over 100 yards receiving, and you had DK Metcalf with 2 monster touchdowns. I mean, just some big specimen of a guy, man. But Seattle wins 31-7 pretty easily over Jacksonville, I might add. And I was kind of worried about this game. Could it be a trap game for Seattle? Because they needed a win in the worst way after dropping, I believe, like 4 in a row or 3 in a row. They needed that win, and they got it 31-7 over Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, look, he's going to go through growing pains this whole entire year. Mind you, James Robinson left in the middle of the game. He was gone, so he might be out for a few more weeks with a I didn't hear about the injury, so I got to find out what the injury is. But he was out, and that's probably their best weapon on offense if you are a Jaguars fan. So he's gone. Already a pedestrian offense as it is. 31-7 is the final score. Seattle with a much-needed win, and I'm glad they actually got that win. Because could you have imagined the Seahawks losing this game? Man. He said, you know what, I'll put Robinson. I feel like he would do good with the Raiders. I read that. With all the injuries, it's anyone's season still. Yes, it is, man. He said, Limnox VR says, Geno is better than expected. And he said, I still ditch Collins, though. Okay, yeah. Geno is better than expected. He looked good since he's been the starter. But mind you, he's faced 2 really tough defenses in the Saints and the Steelers. So nothing to be ashamed about losing those games. But a game against Jacksonville, you had to win that game, and you had to get your guys involved, and he got that involved, man. He got those guys involved. So the Seahawks win this one 31-7. Stay somewhat in contention for a playoff spot. Next game on the docket is going to be the New Orleans Saints hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love my Saints, and hey, we got the win. I'm so happy about that. I did pick the Bucs to win this game, though. I said it would be a close game. I said 24-21, but the Saints come out with a 36-27 victory over the Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay suffers their second loss. The Saints are now 5-2, just a half game behind Tampa Bay. As a matter of fact, if the Saints beat the Falcons next week, Tampa Bay's on a bye. If the Saints beat the Falcons next week, the Saints will be the number 1 team in the NFC South. So, hey, We got a long season to go right now. But in this game, Tom Brady had really good numbers, as in 375 yards passing with 4 touchdowns. The only problem was he had 2 INTs and a fumble, a lost fumble. The Saints defense is for real. They've been for real. They have been for real since for real's been for real for like the last 4 years now. And the only problem was Sean Payton's offense with Drew Brees declining with that arm, and now with no receivers, and also Mike Thomas has officially been out for the year now. So we'll break all that down come Friday. So be ready for Friday's show. We're gonna break all that down. We got a bunch of news coming out the trade deadline area. A lot of off things news, man. I mean, Henry Ruggs. We're not gonna talk about that now. We'll save all that for Friday. So be ready for that show. I will post it on there tomorrow, but be ready Friday. It's gonna be a great show for our Week 9 recap. I mean, our Week 9 picks and predictions about Week 9 episode, the Week 9 season of the NFL. Excuse me. I don't know why I was tripping on that. But in this game, Trevor Siemian came in because we all know about my boy Jameis Winston out for the year with a torn ACL. So I mean, we'll cover all that on Friday as well. But in this game, Trevor Siemian came in, and shout out to Sean Payton, because now it feels like it was Drew Brees, and it was Taysom Hill, Teddy Bridgewater, now Jameis Winston, and these teams still win. That is great coaching by Sean Payton. He is doing an excellent job with his team. The defense, it's just been on a murderous roll right now with Cam Jordan coming alive the last 2 games. Demario Davis is right now the best middle linebacker in the NFL. Sideline to sideline. He's going to be all pro for a 3rd year in a row. I guarantee it, man. And the Bucks, I mean, right now a lot of injuries have plagued their secondary. And New Orleans took advantage of that because a lot of penalties by Tampa Bay, a lot of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. If they would just calm down with the unsportsmanlike, they probably would have won this game. But Saints up to a 23-7 lead early in the 3rd quarter. Bucks came back, took the lead. A field goal was kicked by New Orleans to take the lead by 3. Take the lead by 2. Tom Brady had a chance to win the game via field goal, and he dropped back through interception to P.J. Williams. And that was it, man. The Saints won that. So 36-27 is the final score for that game. That was a great game. Our upset of the week. Not my choice. My choice was who was my upset of the week? My upset of the week was probably the Colts over the Titans, and that did not happen at all. And I mean, I said Lions over the Eagles, but that's not really an upset. That's just 2 bad teams. So, but nobody, and I mean nobody, for the first time all year, the Bengals finally got recognized as a really good team. Like all of this prior to this game, we were like, oh, Bengals are for real. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. These guys got a good O-line, a really good D-line, good secondary. These guys are 5-2 right now. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC. And they lay a stinker to Mike White. People are saying he's Tom Brady reincarnated. Mike White comes in and basically resurges the New York Jets for this one game. They wound up beating the Bengals by a score of 34-31. Mike White started the game off, I think, 10 for 10. Over 100 yards. And he was looking good, dropping dimes. And then the Bengals came roaring back, and the Bengals honestly should have won this game. But turnovers, they were up 31-27 with the ball in their hands. And they first play interception right in Bengals territory. Jets went down, and shout out to them. They went there and scored a touchdown, man. And my goodness. Jets win this one, and I'm still scratching my head. Libna said this has got to be the worst season for injuries and players out for the year. Yes, man. It is horrible, man. It is horrible. I'm very upset about all the injuries, but I blame the players and the NFLPA for having no practices and less physicality going on. That's how you get hurt. I spoke about that in our last NFL live we did. I was saying how with guys, when you play not to get hurt, you wind up getting hurt. So when you practice to not get hurt, when you evolve your NFL season around not practicing as much, that's how guys kind of get hurt all the time. It just happens. When you're in grind mode, guys don't get hurt because you're already in that grind mode. When you have grind mode for a second, then you jump off to like just chilling, and it's all the time. But when you stay in grind mode the whole entire time, yo, people actually don't get hurt. He said, "Yo, you should have overall record accurate." Yo, bro, this was the worst week I've had all year. 6-9. It was nasty, mind you. Week 7, I went 11-2. Week 7, I only lost 2 games. I went 11-2 for week 7. Week 8, I don't know what the hell happened, man. It was just horrible. But yes, my overall record is 76-46. But week 8 was horrible, man. Every pick I picked pretty much went wrong. I don't know what happened. Uh, but mind you, I mean, the Jets beat the freaking Bengals, man. Uh, stuff like that happened. And the Steelers beating the Browns. I didn't see that coming. Uh, the Panthers beating the Falcons. That was tough, man. I just didn't see those things coming, man. Thank goodness for the Chiefs. If the Chiefs would have lost, I'd have been in some boo-boo. Um, so yeah, 31-34 was the score. I don't have it on there right now, but our Sunday night matchup was the Dallas Cowboys at the Minnesota Vikings. I don't have it on my screen. I just completely forgot about that game to put it up there. But the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings, that was classic. There was no Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush came in there and looked Dak Prescott-esque. He looked pretty good. He came in there and you knew that he had control of the offense. It felt good. Had a couple of big plays. Dallas wins by a score of 20-16. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings got to be the most overrated team in the NFL. Most disappointing for sure. Most disappointing team in the NFL has got to be the Minnesota Vikings, man. All that talent on offense and defense and can't do shit with it. He said, Sergvoy says, you still got Titans taking the Super Bowl after a Henry injury? Hell to the no. Hell to the no. Titans are not going anywhere now. They'll still be in the playoffs, but they're not winning anything. They brought in Adrian Peterson, and as much as I am an AP fan, he is nowhere near Derrick Henry. As a matter of fact, no one is near Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is in a class all by himself. You take him out and watch Ryan Tannehill, watch his white and blue jersey turn into a teal green jersey, as in we'll see Miami Dolphins Ryan Tannehill again, because now when you rely on Tannehill to be the guy, it's not going to work out. So, yeah, no more Titans pick for me. Right now, if I had to be I'll probably go with Buffalo versus Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. That's my pick right now, with Buffalo winning. That's just me right now. But shout out to the Vikings. I mean, to the Cowboys for beating the Vikings. Vikings have got to be the most overrated team, and they get on my freaking nerves. All that talent they got and can't do nothing with it. Pisses me off, man. Kirk Cousins, those boys, they just couldn't get over the hump against the Cowboys. After first drive of the game, they went 75 yards, like 8 plays and a touchdown. It looked good. And then they stalled. Shout out to the Cowboys for actually winning this game without Dak Prescott. He said, are you saying 30-year-old AP isn't on par with Derrick Henry at his prime? That's what I'm saying, brother. Yes, sir. So they got AP, who he's going to have about a good 1 or 2 decent to good games. That is it. He's not going to be no Derrick Henry type, man. So it's going to be over for Tennessee. But the Vikings, yeah, I mean, I think the Vikings will find a way to get into the playoffs, and that's all you kind of want if you're Minnesota, because you're not going to catch up with Green Bay. You're not catching the Green Bay at all. I mean, call it what it is. You will not catch the Green Bay. So now you're fighting for that. But who wants it, though? Outside of the top 6 teams, which is we got the Cowboys, Rams, Packers, Bucks, Saints. I'm missing one more team. Cardinals, right? Those 6 teams, you kind of got a feeling that they're going to be in the playoffs for the NFC. Now you got one more team, and you got like the Panthers, the Vikings, the Falcons, the 49ers. They're all trying to fight for that 7th seed. And the Vikings might be the one to get that, but I don't really like Minnesota anyways, man. I just don't like Minnesota, bro. And just overrated, man. So Cooper Rush came in there, took over the offense. Big games by CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys. And Cooper Rush got a lot of guys involved, and I like that. He spread the wealth out, which lets you know that he had command of that. He had command of that offense. Lip Knox VR said the experts have AP as a top 30 running back the rest of the season. it will be interesting to see what workload he actually gets. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, he's going to get some yards. Like, I give him, like, he'll average about 50 yards a game. About 50 or 60 at the most. But I don't see him breaking no 100. I don't. He might get one, maybe two for the season. But we got what? Basically you got 9 games left. So he might give you two over 100 and like just 7 mediocre games. We'll find out though. But Cowboys, with that win, they go to 6-1 now on top of the NFC East and basically just getting the division because that division is trash. The Giants suck, Eagles are sucking, and the Washington football team, they suck too. Cowboys should win that division pretty easily. Sign him up already, lock him up. Um, and hey, Sir Void. So yeah, we had so much going on around the trade deadline. Players not coming to their teams anymore. Guys getting cut or released. Guys getting hurt. So I'm gonna break all that down on Friday. My Week 9 picks and predictions on Friday. We're gonna break all that down. So stay tuned for that, big dog. I will break down everything from Jameis Winston to Von Miller to Derrick Henry to OBJ. We got a lot to talk about, man. So we'll break all that down. Aaron Rodgers being out with COVID, Henry Ruggs incident that he had a couple of days ago. We'll break all that down on Friday, man. So I'll leave that for a whole separate show. I cannot wait to do that, man. So our last game on the docket is going to be the New York Giants at the Kansas City Chiefs. Monday Night Football, and this game was a snoozer, and that here's why it's very interesting. When you think of Kansas City, the Chiefs at home, prime time, you don't think of a snoozer. You don't think of a snoozer. The Chiefs are actually a mediocre team now. They are. They're 4-4, and like Bill Parcells says, you are what your record is. They are 4-4. They are mediocre. Like they are mid. The Chiefs, a 20-17 victory over the Giants. This is more about the Chiefs win than the Giants loss. The Chiefs won, but it feels like a loss. And that doesn't really, I mean, a win is a win, and you take a win how you get it in the NFL. But when you're Kansas City and you've already been having this notion that, man, we are just not a team. Well, here's a really good team to really beat down on to show, hey, we still got it, and they could not. Matter of fact, the Giants had several chances to win this game. Chiefs win 20-17. I mean, barely won this game. It was ugly. I mean, the Chiefs' offense looked ugly. The Giants played too high safety, and they made the Chiefs make mistakes. And the Chiefs were like, yeah, we want to make mistakes. Let's get it. All that running room, and they ran the ball a lot and got some good yardage, and they got the win. That's the most important thing. When it's all said and done, get the W. But I said no one was in that locker room dancing. No one was in that locker room giving each other high fives or big hugs or kumbaya or like, man, yo, we feel so good about this. I guarantee no one, because the Chiefs now have been in the AFC Championship 3 years in a row, and they've been in the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years. They say we should be so much better than what we are right now. Tyreek Hill dropping passes. You got Travis Kelce fumbling the football. You got Pat Mahomes, turnover king all of a sudden. Now he's just number one in the NFL in interceptions. I didn't see that coming. I mean, we had Taylor Heineke played all the games so far for the Washington football team, and he has less turnovers than Pat Mahomes. I don't know what's going on with this Chiefs team, but that really, I was kind of like, give them time. They lost to some really good teams, and, they'll beat down the Giants. No, they still won, but there was no beatdown. So now I'm nervous. Now I'm like, okay, this Chiefs team is totally different now. It just feels different. At home, prime time, against the Giants, and you win by only 3, and not a high-scoring game, but a low, nasty, ugly game, 20-17. So if you're a Chiefs fan, you are worried, because right now, if the playoffs started, you're not in it. We're halfway in the season. The playoffs started. We're halfway through the season, and you're not in it. You're not in it. So Kansas City's got a lot of work to do. They got to find a way to get back on track, but their schedule isn't easy. I mean, they're the number one team in the AFC. They're going to have a hard schedule. Schedule's not easy. Raiders twice, who are hungry. They have the Chargers again, who they lost to already. They have, what's the other team in the AFC West? I said the Raiders. I said Chargers. What is the other team? Anywho, must not be a good team. I can't remember right now. Oh, Broncos. Yeah, Broncos might give them some. Broncos might give them a challenge because I mean they have a good defense, and Kansas City is just struggling on offense. So yeah, we'll find out, man. So that was our recap for Week 8. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tomorrow we're going on Thursday Night Football. The Indianapolis Colts host the New York Jets. We're going to find out Mike White, his second game, his first on the road. Can he be Tom Brady-esque like everyone's saying? We'll see. So, boy, yeah, the Rams, that's a NFC West. I was saying the AFC West, the Broncos. It said a sorry quarterback. Who would have put sorry quarterback and Mahomes in the same sentence, right? Patrick Mahomes is playing like a sorry quarterback right now. He is. He is. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. But, yeah, tomorrow we're doing Thursday Night Football, so be ready for that. Thursday Night Football, we're doing the Jets at the Colts. Can Mike White shock the Colts and win a road game? We're going to find out about that, man. Someone says Mike White is the second coming. Ooh, we'll find out. I like that. I like that. He looked damn good against a really good Bengals team. But that was at home. Now he's on a road with 3 days, on Thursday Night Football. So I'll be on at 7:05 p.m. Central Time. So be ready tomorrow. And then Friday, we're doing our Week 9 picks and predictions. I'm letting you guys know I'm predicting the Colts to beat the Jets. That way people don't understand, like, hey, I'm picking the Colts to win. That way on Friday, we'll break down every single game on Friday for the rest of the Week 9. So stay tuned for that. And also, I'm going out of town. Shout out to my oldest daughter. She's turning 12 on Monday. So Saturday and Sunday for the weekend, we're going out of town to celebrate her birthday. So I won't be doing anything on Sunday, but I will be back on Monday Night Football. I don't know who's playing this Monday. I forgot already, but I will be doing that game, that Monday Night Football game. So I'll be back for then. I'll find out who's playing. I'll post it up there and let you guys know. But I'll be on Monday for 7:05 p.m. Central Time as well. So see you guys tomorrow for Thursday Night Football, Colts and the Jets. Yeah. Friday, we're breaking down every single news outlet, every single thing that sparked interest in the NFL. It was crazy for the last 3 or 4 days. We got some crazy news, devastating news for a lot of teams as well, man. So, be ready for that, man. We're going to break all that down. So bring your energy, bring all that livelihood, all that love as well, man. Shout out to my daughter, man. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes as well. So that being said, I will see you guys on tomorrow. Be on at 7:05 p.m. Central Time for the Jets at the Colts Thursday Night Football. For the homegirl PJ, I'm Carlos Clayton. This is Uneducated Sports Talk. You guys know what time it is. Stay smart, stay uneducated. Peace. Later, mama. We are out. See you guys on Thursday.